Till now we have studied arrangement of flowers, that is inflorescence. Now we will understand about the flower, its parts and types. This is the structure of a typical flowering plant. Now, flower is considered as a basic reproductive unit in angiosperms. That is, it helps in carrying out the sexual reproduction process. Now, as it can be seen from the figure, the main axis or the middle axis of the flower is known as floral axis. Now the tip of this axis, which is swollen part and expanded, this is known as receptacle or thalamus, where stalk and long elongated portion known as pedicel occurs. It is considered as the flower stem. Now a typical flower basically consists of four important whorls, that is calyx, corolla, pistil and stamen. The components of all these whorls are arranged concentrically on thalamus. Out of this, calyx and corolla are considered or are called as accessory organs of the plant because these organs do not directly involve in the process of pollination and fertilization. On the contrary, stamen and carpel forming androecium and gynoecium organs are considered as reproductive organs because they help in carrying out the pollination and fertilization process of plants. Now first of all, let us understand about the accessory organs. As studied, this is a structure of a typical flowering plant. As it can be seen from the figure, calyx, one of the two accessory organs, is considered as the outermost wall of the flower. Sepals are considered as the individual unit of calyx. Sepals, as it can be seen from the figure, they are a green, leaf-like structure and protects the flower in its bud stage. Thus, sepals are the structures that protects flower at its bud stage. And generally are green and leaf-like in structure. Now these sepals can be basically of two types, either polysepalous or gaposepalous. Polysepalous is the form in which the sepals are arranged free from one another. Such an arrangement of sepals on the flower is known as polysepalous. This is a figure of flower which exhibits calyx formation in a polysepalous form. That is, here the sepals are arranged free from one another. Next type is gamosepalous. In this type, the sepals get united along with the margins to form a tube-like structure. This is a figure of a gamosepalous flower where the sepals are united to form a tube-like structure. The next accessory organ is corolla. Corolla is organ that is situated beneath calyx. Petals are considered as the basic unit of corolla. The petals are colorful in nature, exhibits various shapes and sizes, and thereby is used for pollination. By attracting insects towards the flower. Corolla can be of various shapes like tubular, funnel, wheel, or butterfly shaped. Moreover, corolla also helps in protecting the inner walls of flower. Like sepals, petals are of gamopetalous and polypetalous in nature, as it can be seen from the figure. Till now we have studied about the structure and function of the accessory organs of the flower, that is calyx and corolla. Now we will understand their arrangement pattern in a flower. Now, the arrangement of sepals and petals in a flower is called aestivation. Now, aestivation in flower is basically of five types. First is velvet, second twister, imbricate, fourth is vexillary, and fifth cunicunal. This figure depicts the various types of aestivation in a flower. So let us understand beginning with the velvet, that is first type of aestivation. This figure depicts the velvet type of aestivation in a flower. As it can be seen from the figure, if the sepals and petals touch along with one another along with the margins, that such a type of aestivation is known as velvet. Thus, in this type of estivation, the end part of the sepals and petals touch along only their margins and do not overlap. Example, calotropis and mustard. Now, the second type of estivation is twisted. As it can be seen from the figure, if the component members, that is sepals and petals, have their only one margin overlapped by the margin of another, then such a estivation or type of arrangement of sepals and petals is known as twisted. Therefore, if sepals and petals overlap one another, only along their margins, at one end, then the type of estivation is twisted. Example is China rose and cotton. Now, the third type of estivation is imbricate. As it can be seen from the figure, one member, that is either stamen or carpel, is completely inside and one is completely outside. The rest of the components overlap one another along their margins. So such a type of estivation is known as imbricate, where one member is completely inside and other completely outside. And the rest of the components or members overlap one another along their marginal ends. Then such a type of estivation is known as imbricate. Example of such a type of estivation is gulmohar. As we all know, that is the common name of a flower whose scientific name is Dillonyx. Now the fourth type of estivation is vexillary. This figure depicts the estivation of vexillary type. Now this type of estivation generally takes in flower having vexillary corolla. That is the flower in which petals are 5 in number, in which one is superior and posterior out of all, which is largest out of all petals. So, as it can be seen from the figure, in this type of estivation, out of the 5 petals, the largest, that is the outer one, is the standard, which overlaps the 2 lateral petals, which in turn overlaps the 2 smaller anterior petals. Such a type of estivation generally occurs in P and B. Therefore, Vexillary type of estivation is the type of estivation in which the largest petal, that is superior of all, overlaps the 2 lateral petals, which are comparatively smaller, which is also known as LA, which in turn overlaps the 2 smaller, or rather smallest, anterior petals, which is also known as keel. Example, P and beam. Thus, these 2 petals, which are located in the mid and are arranged along lateral side, such petals are known as alley, and the innermost petals are known as keel. Now the fifth and the final type of estivation is cuneiform estivation. Now this type of estivation is a special form of imbricate estivation. Because here, like imbricate estivation, also the components are both outer and completely inner side, and the other overlaps one another. But in cuneiform estivation, there are 2 petals or 2 components which completely overlap the 2 inner components, and one which is arranged along the margins and overlap one another. Thus, in this type of estivation, out of the 5 components, 2 are arranged on completely inner side, two are arranged completely outside, and the rest one is overlapped in such a manner that one margin is inner and the other margin is located at the outside. Example of this type of estivation is cucurbita and melia.